So on your formula sheet, I need you guys to make sure that you remember there's a few little invisible things that you'll want to memorize and write down on your formula sheet and make sure you use them, because if you don't put in these extra things that technically we don't have to write, we can leave invisible in mathematics, if you don't type it on your calculator you'll end up with a completely wrong answer. So first one for us to look at is actually in this formula the sum of the arithmetic sequence. What you need to add in here is going to be a times sign between the n divided by 2 and then the brackets there. If you don't put in the times sign and you're using the fraction button on your calculator, it will totally screw everything up for you. You'll get completely wonky answers. So the other thing to keep in mind is that those square brackets there are basically the same as using round brackets, so it's just another set of brackets for you really to deal with. So make sure you get that times sign between the n divided by 2 or the n over 2. Otherwise you're going to have some issues. The next one for us that we want to make sure we get on there, this is a times r to the power of n minus 1. You do want brackets around the n minus 1. And if you're not sure how to do that on your calculator, that's a times whatever r will be. That's the times button. Then you have to the power button, it looks like a little upside down arrow or caret or something like that. And then bracket n minus 1 bracket will get you there. That being the bracket button, the minus button, and the bracket button. So you need to make sure you get your brackets around the n minus 1. Same idea on this one, because it is a big fraction bar, there's a few things you're going to want to get on there to make sure you don't screw it up. And what I'm going to tell you is you definitely need to get brackets around everything on the bottom, otherwise it's going to be pretty unhappy with you. And that should work, so make sure you get the brackets on the bottom, and same for this one, you have to have the brackets on the bottom of that fraction as well. So these are bits that as you're using this formula you'll hopefully memorize and just get better to do. Again, the formula sheet will actually be given to you, so what you see on this page without the red writing will be given. You don't have to memorize that, but what you do need to memorize is these extra little tips about putting in the time sign or putting in the brackets, because if you don't do that with your calculator you end up with the wrong answers. So that's kind of the invisible maths I was talking about. Kind of annoying with mathematicians, but we don't have to write all this stuff. It's implied that you would know this, but if you've forgotten or you don't know that it's there, you get into trouble. So sometimes it's helpful to write it down so it's not invisible anymore. So again, only bit you have to memorize is where these extra brackets and time signs go. Everything else will be given to you.